Hey guys, Marmalade here with Marmalade Outdoors, and welcome to this video of 1 year living full-time in my car and what it's been like. In this video, it won't be all just positive stuff. I'll give you some positives and negatives, pros and cons, things like that. I started full-time. I'd already experimented for the year or two before I started doing full-time, but I did it off and on. But I started full-time every single day, January 1st, 2023. It's now later in February 2024. So it's actually really been about 14 months. But I'm going to give you just an overview of what it's been like for at least a year living in my car. For those of you that are already doing this may not help you too much, and you may agree with some of these or experience the same things. But for some of you, I get a lot of comments and a lot of my, I have backpacking videos and living in car life and van life kind of videos. And I get a lot of comments in those car life videos about how either they lost their job and have to live in their car, or they just want to be mobile. They don't want to pay rent anymore. Um where I live, rent and mortgage is insane right now. I live in San Diego County, and San Diego in I think 2023 was voted most expensive city to live in the United States. And that's incredible if you consider all the big cities like New York and places like Hawaii and LA and stuff like that. I think LA is second, but it's very expensive to live here. All right, so these are no particular order, but the first one is probably the most obvious one, but I love not having to pay rent and a mortgage and having all the responsibilities and the mental, emotional, and financial responsibilities of owning property or even renting. Um, and with a car, I'm able to save a lot of money. That's part of what I do. I'm a backpacker, and so besides, I have two parts of my life: living in my car, and I eventually want to be doing van life and being nomadic. But the other part is loving the outdoors. And for those of you who don't hike, I've done the Pacific Crest Trail and some other trails like that. But I love doing remote, long distance backpacking. So by living in my car, I do have a car payment. It's a fairly hefty one, and you add insurance and all that. But allows me to not have to put my money paying for somebody else's mortgage and put it towards savings, and not only that, but investing in retirement, things like that, which I'm starting to do. But really, just to give me the ability to go do my adventures in the summer that I want to do. Rent, as I just said previously, in San Diego is so insane. I used to be a homeowner. I'm not anymore. But all of that is so expensive. It's just like, I don't know how anybody does it. The only way people are kind of pulling it off is having to multiple people live in apartments, unless you make a lot of money, and renting out rooms and things like that, which is no fun for anybody. So the next one kind of ties hand in hand with the first one, which is because I don't have all that financial responsibility and just responsibility in general for homeowners and all the things, the repairs and all the maintenance and the cleaning and the yard work, all that stuff. I have way more free time for me to do what I want to do. Um, I'm a parent. My son is now 27, so now that he's grown, I'm still a father to him, but he's on his own pretty much. It's about me and what I want to do. I mean, I'm not in a relationship. I better not touch that. But I'm not in a relationship, so I don't have to I don't have to consider somebody else. Once I am in one, then that's different. Hopefully I can find somebody that has the same love and passion as I do for the outdoors. But for now, I have way more time to do what I want to do. You will, if you do this lifestyle and you already know, you have a lot of time to yourself. Sometimes that is hard if I'm nomadic, but I live in the area that I work in. So I have a lot of free time to myself, but I work somewhere that's very public and a lot of people. So I get my fill of people pretty much by the end of the day. I can't wait to be back by myself. I have a lot of friends, a lot of people that hike and like the outdoors, and I have all kinds of different kinds of friends. So when I want that, I'll give one a text or a call and say, hey, let's get together, get a beer or whatever. So people that are nomadic though and travel the country, and if you're by yourself, that could be a very lonely existence. There's ways, to meet people and go into towns and stuff like that. So, but you have to consider that if you want to do this lifestyle. Okay, as I said, not all of these are sunshiny and rainbowy. One of the negatives has been for me being a tall guy. I'm 6'3" and about 230 or 40. I live in my SUV. I sleep on the side that's on the front passenger seat. I push the front passenger seat up and lay in the back, and I have enough room. I physically just barely fit, but it's perfect. But I have struggled with sleeping well. I sleep horribly in that car. I did a very popular video recently where I bought some memory foam I bought a big piece from Amazon, cut it in half, made it double layered. It was very comfortable, but too soft, so I put a piece of foam in that was firmer in between. That solved the problem. It actually was amazing. But now that it's been probably, I actually don't know, but maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and I sleep on it every night, it's still poofy, but when I lay on it, it's much more compressed and not that comfortable. It doesn't absorb very much compared, so I thought it was memory foam, where it would just keep going back to the same place, but whatever I got, I mean, it's cheaper stuff. It's not going back. So I probably will keep what I have and maybe add to it, but I'm not sure what to do yet. But yeah, that's been a struggle for me. So most people are smaller than me, especially ladies. They have a better time of it, and it's just a matter of trying to figure out the best way to make a bed. I like that I can roll it up and get out of the way what I want, but I'm still working on that, and I'll let you know when I figure something out. All right, the next one is a double-edged sword. The positive to this is that my second job, I have a regular main job where I go to work. My second job that I fill in and actually make quite a bit of money doing it is DoorDash. I'm getting ready to do Uber Eats, but I love it because I've been doing it for years. I love it because I work for myself. I don't answer to anybody. I work as much or little as I want. If I want to go backpack for a couple of days locally, I just turn off the app and don't do it. It is a 1099 job, so you have to pay taxes at the end of the year. But I love it. I like the independence. It has a mode on there. You can pause the app. So like instead of running separate errands, if I'm doing DoorDash in the mornings and it takes me by the post office and I have to go there, I'll pause it for 5, 10 minutes, go in there, mail something and do all that. So I will actually do my errands while I'm making money. And then later on, I'm done for the day. I don't have to go do that. So I feel like it saves me time and money. The negative, and I told you I'll be honest, is you rack up a lot of miles on your car. I've had my car about 2 years now, and I've already got 48,000 miles. And that's with 2 years of being gone hiking for 2 months. So that's 4 months out of the 2 years I didn't drive. My car was just sitting there parked. So pretty crazy. But once again, it's the trade-off. And with that is, gas, especially in California, gas is expensive. I go through tires faster. I get through oil changes faster, having possible breakdowns and things happen. And maintenance on the car in general. So you make more money and you get to work for yourself, but there's a trade-off for it. It also hurts your resale value. So, that's a negative. But for me, and I used to do Uber and Lyft, driving people a long time ago. I only deliver food now. I don't want to drive people. COVID kind of changed that. And for me, it's worth the trade-off, all the miles and the maintenance stuff to be able to work for myself and fund some of my outdoor activities. Getting the little parts there. All right, the next one is, this lifestyle is a much more minimalistic, simplistic lifestyle. I've been, like I said, a homeowner. I've owned a lot of things and had a lot of stuff. Choking on that water. But you learn as you get older. I think when you're young, you're driven for, success at work. I used to be in corporate sales. The next title, the next raise, the next this, getting admiration from your company and your bosses and all that stuff. And also buying and owning lots of stuff. But it becomes where it almost bogs you down. It's a responsibility. It's a lot of things to own and have and sometimes maintain and things like that. And as I've gotten older, I've just realized that buying lots of stuff and owning lots of stuff isn't what makes me happy. It's fleeting when you buy something that feels good for a second, and then that's it. And you just it's like a drug. You need your next fix. So with this lifestyle, I have what's in my car, and everything else I own is in the storage unit. And for now, I'm fine with that. I'm actually going to spend some time in my storage unit when I have some days off and actually just minimize and get rid of even more. I have a lot of, I have keepsakes and family things and some things that I want to keep, but I have a lot of just clothes and just stuff that, for my kitchen. When I had an apartment, I love to cook, so I have a lot of kitchen gadgets, and I just won't need all that stuff. If I get a place again, I'll buy it. But I just love the freedom of not worrying about all the stuff, and you should think about it too. So another one is with what I just described about the freedom of not having a lot of stuff, encumbered by a lot of stuff. I have freedom now in my life to have experiences. I decided when I got out of the corporate world that I made lots of money, but I had no time. I was in corporate sales. I brought revenue to the company. I could never get even a Friday off, let alone go hike the Pacific Crest Trail for half a year. So I've had to organize my life to do that. So now, instead of money, I have time. And then also, instead of having things, I have experiences. So my lifestyle and the way I've arranged my life, and I'm going to continue to hopefully get it in that direction, to have experiences. That's how I was able to do the Pacific Crest Trail. It took me 5 years because I got hurt my first year. It would have been just 6 months of 6 months of hiking straight, which I had arranged my life to do. I had to quit a good job for that, but I had saved up for 2 years and put my stuff in storage and got rid of my apartment. But because I got hurt, it took me 5 years. But because of my lifestyle, I was able to keep going back every year. And last summer, I finally finished it. But in the old corporate job, I would have never been able to. I couldn't get it like a single day off, let alone. It's funny because I earned like tons and tons of vacation, but they wouldn't give me any. Which, they just wanted to pay you out and not have you gone. So my lifestyle now, I have time to go do things, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. All right, so one of the not so great things is when I first started this lifestyle, I actually really struggled on finding comfortable, good, safe places to sleep in. I live in a relatively safe areas. So there's not a lot of crime and things like that. But because I had never done it before, I really didn't know where to park. I am a member of a gym that's 24 hours. And what's good about that, there's cars coming and going all the time. I'd park in different places in the parking lot. But I got the dreaded knock a couple times. Once about every couple weeks, a security guard would drive through. And when you sleep in your car, like I'd black out the window, so it was kind of obvious. And also my windows would fog up some, even when I cracked the window. And so they could tell right away that you're in your car. So I got the dreaded knock. I tried sleeping, and we have, in Southern California, there's a lot of hotels, a lot of things like that. And hotels I parked, and I could park in plain sight. But a lot of them you needed, when you stay in the hotel, they give you a pass to hang in your window, so I didn't have that. So that was hard to do. Commercial buildings, it was really hard. I've got it figured out now. And I don't want to really say too much of where I stay, but it's like I've got it kind of figured out now. And if I ever get the knock on the door, I can just do the same thing I'm doing, but move to a new area. I don't bother anybody. I go in after dark, after everybody's asleep. I wake up at 4:45 every day to go to the gym and clean up, and then start driving DoorDash by 6 every single day unless I'm out hiking. So I'm out by 4:45. Everybody's still asleep. So I don't bother anybody. I'm not in anybody's property. I'm not in front of their house where I park. So I feel so much better now, but it was a big downer at first. I'm sure a lot of you guys have that same problem, especially if you don't live in the nicest areas. Like you might live in a bigger city or places where there's crime, especially for young ladies that, kind of feel insecure about it. So I did do a video. I'll try to post it somewhere here. It's about 25 places to park. It's kind of location specific, like where you live. Some of these places you could or could not. I live in Southern California. I live 2 miles from the beach. So there's places along the beach and like that you could park where if you don't live by the beach, you can't, of course. But it'll either be up here somewhere or down in the description box. But yeah, that was a thing for a long time. And I also didn't sleep well because I was worried about the spots I was sleeping in. All right, so there's a lot more, but I want to keep this semi-brief. So in closing, my goal is to do van life, whether I do it full-time or part-time. The more I plan on doing van life, the more like having a home base, apartment, or a home, and then be able to go off on road trips in the van seems more appetizing to me. But my goal is to be nomadic, and I'm arranging my life. I'm trying to figure out ways to earn money on the side. As my channel grows, I'm making more money from the channel, but also I'm starting to get sponsorship potential sponsorship, which pays and you can earn money. So I'm slowly getting there. I also am doing this because I wanted to see if I even like it. So many people just romanticize about van life, buy a $75,000 van or fix it all up, and then they realize they hate it and it sucks, and then all of a sudden they lose money in the van and then they're out of it. So this is part of my test to see if I like it. And so far I've really liked it overall. One of the negatives is the stigma surrounded by this. Where I work, there's got to be 6, 8 people that live in their car, and 10 or 15 that have vans. They do van life. So for me, because I won't have a problem with it, it doesn't bother me. But the stigma of, I don't know how my close friends feel. They're always cool about it, but I don't know if they think lesser of me because of it. I don't know how they view me. I would hope they support me, but nobody's ever been mean to me that are closer to me. But yeah, there's definitely nose turned up sometimes when I don't really advertise it a lot because I don't want to get into that conversation. I'm not embarrassed by it, but it's my life, and whether I choose to share it or not, that's my thing. But there is a stigma, and I've had some people that ask a lot of questions, are curious, but some people just think it's beneath them or beneath me, or I don't know what they think. Also, it's definitely hurt me in the dating world because um, when I had the right title and I had a nice place and I had lots of stuff, and I still have fancier clothes, but they're all in stores. But like when I had nicer clothes and nicer stuff and made lots of money, I was the right catch for a lot of the Southern California women. And I'm not trying to stereotype, but it's true. I mean, I'm on a dating site that I hardly ever use, but almost the first question of every female that I ever start to connect with is, what do you do? Do you have a house? They want to know the stuff you have and not anything about me. We all know there's plenty of people that have lots of money and are divorced or unhappy. Obviously money helps with some of the stressors in life, but I would be an awesome partner. So it's kind of like, it always hurts me. And I immediately say thanks, but no thanks when they say that. And they ask what I own, how much money I make, what my job is, stuff like that. That should come up eventually, but it shouldn't be the basis of a relationship. And I want them to invest and care about me as a person. I'm a great partner and take care of my partners, and I'm very thoughtful and romantic, and I do all kinds of things for my partners. But that seems to almost not matter. It almost matters here, at least where I live, what you have and what you can do for somebody. So that is definitely a negative depending on where you live. So especially where I live. Okay, and lastly, like I said, I live a couple miles from the beach. I live in Southern California, semi-close to San Diego, and we have the documented best weather in the whole United States. So with that said, I have the kind of weather, that we're just coming out of a winter. It's late February. It's still cold at night for us, Southern California. I mean, it does get down to freezing, but we don't have the snow in the winter like East Coast and Northwest has. So, if you're thinking about doing this, it depends. It's obviously location specific, like I said. This is a hard life if you live somewhere like Minnesota or somewhere where it's hardcore winter half the year, and your spring, summer, and fall is very short. I think this would be a very hard unless you have a well-made van and you have a heating system. I don't have a heater. I just, in the winter, I throw on more blankets in the back. I have a sleeping bag, but more blankets. And then in the summer, I only need one light blanket. So the car gets hot. So this something to think about depending where you live. You may, I guess, being nomadic, I think a lot of people that are from the East Coast or enjoy the East Coast or the Northwest will be there in this, like I said, spring, summer, and fall. And then they call it chasing 70, which means chasing 70 degrees. So as winter hits, they start moving west and south. So a lot of people come here, Arizona, New Mexico, like places like that where it's more temperate. But it's something to think about if you want to do this lifestyle. Okay, well, that's it. I could name a whole bunch more, but I wanted to give you a brief overview of how my first year went, my thoughts, pros and cons, things like that. I'm still doing it. I don't know how much longer I'm going to do it. I've got some more hikes and some things planned, so I may keep doing it for a little while more, purely just so I can save more money. As I grow my channel and other uh, revenue streams, then maybe, sorry, somebody came right up here and asked me a question while I was filming. But as I get more revenue streams, maybe I can get an apartment or a place to stay, or rent a room somewhere where I can be more indoors and things like that, but just cheaper, but still save money to go on my ventures. And like I said, I'm leaning more. I would love to be nomadic and just travel, be by myself. But if I find a partner or somebody that thinks the same way I do, I wouldn't. Some of the women I've talked to wouldn't mind are doing van life, but wouldn't mind doing it part time. Depending on their careers and the stage of their life, but they wouldn't want to do it all the time, which I'm kind of in line with if I found a great partner. So it just depends. I'm super flexible, but I hope that helped. Like I said, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Over 90% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. It really helps my channel. It's free. Also, hit the like button. Even helps more than subscribing. That helps the algorithms and puts it out to more people. Hit that notification bell in the upper right if you want to be notified every time I have a future video. And I'm going to get out of here. It's starting to get chilly, even though it's Southern California. And we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye.